Good.
All right, let me tell you about our organization that we're introducing. Our organization's name is Birmingham Black Economic Alliance. We started in 2018. We were an outgrowth of the E.J. Bradford movement. Basically, we didn't want to protest. We wanted to find a way we could support the community economically. So what we started doing is asking people to boycott Hoover, redirect their finances somewhere else. And our mission statement, real quick, is the Black Economic Alliance organizes to create and continue the prosperity of Black folks in the seem like this battery's off, but you can hear me, can't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. The Southern region, the Black Economic Alliance seeks to further the education, enrichment, and economic well-being of melanated individuals. We support and we promote a community vision based upon solidarity, determination, social, economic development, actively defeating any effects of systematic and or internalized oppression that diminish Black social and economic advancement. Our objectives are delivering education and vision, which that's what we do. We do seminars, bi-monthly seminars. COVID happened, we shut it down. This is our reopening of that. Centralize and redirecting wealth for our community. What we also do, which we're doing here today, is redirecting our resources in our community. So everybody's here is supporting a Black business and a Black entrepreneur through spending your money and supporting her efforts to educate, strengthening Black economic infrastructure, helping develop businesses in our community. We had a couple businesses that comes to outgrowth of that, Tabasco service, a clothing line, and boycott non-invested community cohorts. And that means anybody that's against our community, whether they're Asians, Arabs, or even Black folks, that's not for our community, we're going to ask that you don't take your money and that's a grassroots economic organization. So this is a mixer and a way to educate. You can find us on Facebook on the Birmingham Black Economic Alliance Facebook page. You click like, you'll see about 2,000 people that subscribe to it. Or if you need more further information, contact me, 205-267-2505. I'm Clarence Muhammad. I'm one of the founders of the organization, and some of us are traveling and moving around, but we appreciate you coming out. And we appreciate Neena. She wanted to present some things community, and we're honored that she's coming here to give us this presentation about branding. And how many before I move forward, how many of y'all in business? Woo. Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Business owner. Okay, well I gotta get y'all what you do. I know, but
He do children's books.
I'm Kaya. I'm NK Home Remedies. That's my DBA. Originally Nyla's Home Remedies.
Okay.
I'm a proud supporter of other small Black business owners. So there's some homemade organic products that I manufacture in house. But because I still work a 9 to 5, I reach out to other home-based Black-owned businesses to showcase their items on my store as well. Wow. That's NylasHomeRemedies.com.
Hey, I'm Jess Nicole. Of course, owner of Detox with Jess. I sell health and wellness products, so I definitely believe in getting clean. You can get lean. The more that I actually change myself, I saw that I could be an impact on my community. So my main goal is to impact and inspire, and so that's why I'm here. I'm down 165 pounds.
Wow, man, give it to her. That's awesome. That's awesome.
And so I just want to help my community in any way that I can. Of course, I've been able to create a source of income, earning multiple six figures, and so it's always good to give back and network. So that's why I'm here. And so again, it's Detox with Jess on all platforms. You can find me, support me, and of course, sharing is caring.
Who else? Who's another business owner in the
I
house?
love it.
Whoa, what you got?
My name is Paige. I run vision counseling and consulting, where I do individual, family, and play therapy for children.
Wow.
And so I've been in business since about June, and I absolutely love it. I believe that mental health in our community is so underrated, but it is so important because mental health is whole health. And so I am very passionate about taking it to the community and helping people and helping our people be able to connect with their mental wellness and health.
Your name again?
Paige.
Paige. Okay, I'm making
Vision counseling and consulting. I got a card for you.
Okay, all right.
She gonna get y'all together.
I need it.
She gonna get y'all together.
All right. Who else is over here with a bid? What you got?
Come on up here, counselor.
Oh gosh.
All right. Tell us what you
Hi everybody. Hi
everybody. I hope everyone's having a blessed day. My name is Jasmine Brunson, and I am also a trademark attorney. I do similar things to what Neena does. So I do trademarks, copyrights, contracts, and entrepreneurship, business law, L.A.S.T formation. So just get started, and you know, you like, I don't know what to do. I can help you form your business and build your business. I am originally from North Carolina, but I am here by way of the Holy Spirit. He told me to move, so I moved. And so Neena has been a great help. She's a great person, and I'm mainly here to support her. So that's me.
Awesome.
Love you, Jazz.
All right.
All right. Anybody
And
else?
anybody else in business?
All right.
I
Come on up here,
Yeah.
guys.
I kind of already spoke at it.
I mean,
That's all right. Tell us again.
Yeah.
Tell us again.
come on up here. I just realized,
Yes, ma'am. All right. I'm a graphic designer. I'm from Cincinnati. I just moved here a couple of weeks ago, but I've been coming down here since 2000. I came down in 2000 with my daughter, raised my baby here, but I came down here as business owner 20 years ago. You know what I'm saying? That's where I make a sheaf at. And it's been up ever since. I mean, from the day I came here, I've been very successful. So I just want to come in. I just happened to come. I didn't know this was going on, but I'm glad to be here. My name's Anthony Powell. My company is that Black Chrysler riding around here with that on it. That's me. My website is silhouettedesigns.unlimited.com, silhouettedesigns.ultd.com, and it's all on the business card.
Awesome.
All right.
That's all business on. I didn't miss nobody. And then y'all give it up to Kashif, the owner of Your Chef, for opening the doors to us.
Thank you, Kashif.
And he open 6 days a week for your information. Anything you like to eat, but Kashif, you want to say anything?
Come on. All right.
I've been away Sunday. They do brunch, so it's awesome.
Great
awesome.
food.
Great.
Awesome.
Food.
It's some of the best food in the city. Great price.
Be back.
All right, so I'm gonna get out your way.
Awesome. So you guys should all have this presentation in front of you, either by QR code, by the TV, or my people on the internet. Y'all should have it by way of my screen share. Long story short, trademarking your brand is about first understanding what trademarks mean. How many of y'all actually have a registered trademark for one of your brands? Okay. What's your trademark called? Silhouette Designs. And so that's for your business name, correct? Now, did anybody else trademark or even think about trademarking their business name? Did you know that was a possibility? It's okay. That's why we're here. So for people who want to trademark your brand, this presentation is for you. So you see if I can get to my next slide on this iPhone. This ain't my thing. There we go. All right. So there's my information. I'm the principal attorney at Neena R. Spear Law Firm. I started this law firm back when I was just a new baby, 2018, passed the bar. The first thing I did was say, okay, well, I'm going to do some trademark law. And that's where I got. Okay. And I didn't get a lot of business clients at first. It took a while for me to figure out the marketing information about how to get it. But me and Jazz, we both enrolled in this class to learn more about marketing specifically to entrepreneurship clients, because I always just thought if you told people that you were a lawyer, they would just work with you. Apparently that doesn't work. Y'all have to build relationships. I got to give you educational tools. And as soon as I started my educational platform called Trademark That Thursdays, I will show y'all actual trademark registration certificate at the end, so y'all can see what it looks like when it comes to the mail. It feels even better when it's a gold stamp on something that you own. It's just an amazing feeling. So Trademark That Thursdays is actually an educational content brand on Instagram. If you go and find the hashtag Trademark That Thursdays, the Instagram handle Trademark That Thursdays, all of that will be there. Today, of course, we're at Yo Chef, and the information that you guys are going to get, it's crazy. So first, I want to make sure that y'all understand how trademarks occur. So a lot of people ask me the question, well, what's someone using the same name as me? Anybody ever used your name on the internet? Yes, maybe. You like, wait, hold up, that's me. You can't have that name. That's what I put my business in, all my money. Well, imagine you had that situation and you didn't know where to turn, right? You like, someone is using my stuff. I'm upset. you're probably mad, right? Because you've spent time developing that brand. You've been watching that hashtag like a hawk. Don't worry, guys. This story is all relatable because it happened to me. So if it can happen to me, it can happen to pretty much anybody. I watched one of my hashtags and then somebody trademarked part of my name first, and it pissed me off, and I was angry. But because I used that anger to repurpose it for my business, just like Birmingham Black Economic Alliance, they do that. They repurpose the upset you feel about what's happening in the community in a way that can be economically increasing your business. So a trademark, if you don't know anything else and you're really confused about someone having a trademark, finding out if you have a common name, which would make your trademark a weaker possibility, is important. If it's so common in the industry, it's not as strong of a trademark and it's not worth you pursuing the action. The other part is you can learn about basic search results on the USPTO. There's two that I can tell you today. If you use the brackets MN, right, that means mark non-punctuated. All that means is that if you want to search a mark on the USPTO website, you use the two brackets and put your first part of your business. So whatever the most unique part of your business name is, you put it in the USPTO search. That is what I do. That is the very basic search. So if you don't do anything else, you can check that. And then the other thing you can check is the goods and services register. So what I do is put in the brackets GS, and then I put in front of whatever I sell. The only thing you need to remember when you're searching the trademark database is that you cannot just use it like you do Google. Okay, a lot of people search it like they do Google, and what happens is you end up not being able to search adequately. Those two search codes I gave you, those aren't even half of the search codes that the USPTO uses. Those are just two beginner search codes to put yourself in a better place for your business, to see if your name is creative enough. And the only thing you have to do, right, if you don't remember anything I said, is put your name in quotes, just two words, okay? Two words. It's the MN and the GS. Okay, those are the two words that you need to remember by the end of this. They need to be in brackets, and I will show you what it looks like at the very end of this talk. And that's a bonus because this is a small group, and I want to make sure that this is actually beneficial for your search process. If you want to learn more search codes, that special deal that's on the back of that workbook that you got, if you didn't receive one, one's right here. That special deal at the back will be a group training session where I will show you how to search your own business names and your business ideas for the first three, so you'll be able to be more informed before you come see me for a trademark strategy session. But have y'all ever wondered what it would be like to be a trademark owner like McDonald's? You ever wonder what that would feel like? Okay, well, this wonderful Malaysian couple called McCurry in Malaysia created a McCurry, and yes, they sell curry. They do not sell anything related to fast food or anything. So I did a case study for you guys, and this case study breaks down the McCurry battle. Now, I want you guys to take 1 second and look at the two images you see in front of you. What are you guys seeing? Look at you. Okay, what else you saw that's the same? Come on, tell me what you're thinking. The font's the same, color's the same. Anything else you see that's the same? But you know what? You know what McDonald's argued? You know what McDonald's? Yes, the Mac. You know what McDonald's argued in court and lost on? The Mac. The MIC prefix. You want to know why they lost? Because nobody has an exclusive right to own the MIC prefix. Because in trademark law, it doesn't make sense for somebody to dominate the market on something that is not unique enough like a Google. Okay, so MIC, anybody can put MIC in front of it, and the argument that McCurry gave, which I love my Indian people. I'm half Indian, half black, but I love the fact that McCurry, they said that Mick actually comes from Scottish origin. So McDonald's doesn't own it. And McCurry is an abbreviation for Malaysian chicken curry. Kid you not, that's what they said in their responses. And that is something that allows them to be distinct enough to win their infringement battle. But you guys want to know how long this legal battle took for them to truly own McCurry and be unencumbered by McDonald's? Y'all see it? What does it say up there? Oh, who said that? Okay, you get a special thing at the end of this. Just remind me, you get something special at the end. But if y'all see at the beginning and the end, what did I write? There's a test that I put in this presentation. They go through this specific type of test whenever they're looking for infringement. Okay, They look for the goods and services sold. They're selling curry. They're not selling, burgers and fries and things like that. So that is a completely different market. In the food industry, there is something called the something more requirement for trademarks. So even if you got the same business name, but you're selling something completely different, you might still be able to get your trademark. How do I know this? Because I was able to do this with somebody here in Alabama that sells vegan food. Okay. So I'm telling you, it's possible. The different market. They were talking to blue collar workers who like curry, not hamburgers. So they're not even marketing to the same people. Hamburgers are bought by McDonald's people who like hamburgers and fries. They weren't selling any of those products. Lastly, if y'all look, right, if you go look up McCurry on your phone right now, and this is some research you can do on your own, McCurry's logo is a chicken. Okay, it is not the McDonald's arches. Okay, it is actually a chicken with yellow font in the background. And yes, the colors are similar, and yes, the fonts are similar, but that's not enough, because all McDonald's was trying to do was make sure that they protect that ownership right in the MIC. That was the big thing. They thought that their trademark was going to be diluted. It was going to be weakened because McCurry was using it for selling curry. And guess what? I actually agree with McDonald's in the situation. This is real similar. Okay, but this is how you can actually win, because there's nuances of trademark law that can show distinctiveness in the feature. Because who would have thought of McCurry for selling curry to people? Curry chicken, curry everything. You probably never thought to do that, but you can take on these big giants. But you might not have the wherewithal or the money for 8-year battle. But you know what McDonald's had to do after they lost this battle? Because they won it at first, and then it got appealed, and then they got told that they lost. And McDonald's abided by this decision. But they had to pay McCurry all this money for this lawsuit that went on. So yes, the dividends, it was in Malaysian dollars. It really wasn't that much money. It wasn't worth what they went through for 8 years with them. It was like over, I think, something Malaysian $100,000. So it wasn't a lot of money. But I'm telling you this to understand that the battle is very costly. The attorney that you have to pay for to be able to take on that battle with McDonald's back and forth. Who? Go on Face ID. Um, but the battle that you have to do for 8 years, that money that's going to cost, I mean, at minimum, and this is just so you can know how attorneys charge, for any trial rate, my rate goes from $350 per hour to $500 per hour. So that's a trial rate up front. And I usually, if it's a trial like this, and I've never done an infringement, I try to avoid infringement cases because I try to help you on the front end. So I don't actually take on infringement cases. I refer them out because of the money resources you have to do to take these on. I would never be able to take on ever again, because as you saw, this thing 8 years for somebody to do well on. Okay, so the reason why, what was the reason that they lost? Why did they lose? What did they say? The MAC. There you go. Okay, you get something special at the end too. So the MAC, the McCurry, the MIC portion, the prefix is not exclusively owned by McDonald's. That was a big turning point in this litigation. Okay, now here's another one. Okay, so let's do that. Case study number 2. Now this is Pepsi. Who drinks Pepsi? Everybody love Pepsi? Pepsi fan? No? You like Coca-Cola? Okay, cool. That's fine. If you don't, you can also win against a big company by this. It's called Rise Brewing Company. And it doesn't seem like a big deal right now, but it's about something called reverse confusion in the market. Rise Brewing Company actually applied for the trademark first for Rise Brewing. Okay. They put out their cans. And if you look at that mashup, y'all notice any similarity in those cans? Let me know. Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy, right? We just watched McCurry win against McDonald's and there was no similarity, right? Well, this one, there was similarity and they were actually shown as infringing, right? So the reason why this came out is because you see the block lettering at the top of the Mountain Dew, because this is Mountain Dew Rise. That's the thing that Pepsi was trying to launch. They blitzed the market. You probably heard about Mountain Dew Rise and thought it was Pepsi's product because you probably seen it in the stores. They got a ruling from a federal judge that says they actually have to stop using it. Now, I want y'all to pay attention to why this happened. They filed a trademark, one. So whenever you file a trademark, you have a lot more superior rights to somebody who Second, if you pay attention to who they're marketing to, both of them are selling it. A morning coffee drink is still a caffeinated beverage, right? Still got caffeine in it. A soda still has caffeine in it. So they're both selling the same types of products. The other issue is they are selling to morning coffee drinkers. So who drinks caffeine in the morning? People who want caffeine drinks. So it's going to be the same type of people. The other part was both a bold font on the top of the right. You notice that both of them are the bold font, but it is the exact same words. It's not different. It doesn't say Mountain Dew, in some type of big block lettering to make it different. It says Rise. That's the big thing, and it looks just like that can. But this case didn't turn on those facts. The judge actually stated that the case turned on the fact that the major investor did not invest in Rise Brewing Company because they were seeing similarity with Pepsi, were afraid of confusing similarity. There is a term in the market for trademark called reverse confusion, which means someone who filed your trademark first is the senior user of that term. The person who comes after, the Pepsis of the world, will saturate the marketing with rise, 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 and take over that person's trademark so much so that it makes it weak and inherently not usable anymore. That is concerning to a small business owner like you who comes up with something, puts out a lot of hard work in Detox by Jess, and then somebody comes along with a Detox by Jess line, and you're like, wait, this is me. I'm Jess, you're not Jess, and I don't think this is going to work. The work you put into filing your trademark up front does pay off in the long run because the judge was able to see that they lost a major investor solely because Pepsi was actually seen as the person who created it. So reverse confusion is that the other person, the junior user, the one who uses it after you, is the one who's seen to have originated it. And all trademarks are, y'all, is an identifier of the source of the goods. How do y'all know that Nike made a shoe? Tell me. How y'all know Nike made the shoe? Okay, so that is all trademark. Their slogan, just do it, is trademark. The check mark is trademark. You can even trademark trade dress, the way the shoe appears. You can even trademark the design, and you can patent the design, but we ain't talking about that today. Okay, but there are options with trademark law that you weren't probably aware of. I'm sorry, I keep on letting it close. Yes.
So Raz Bruin already held the trademark. Did PepsiCo also try to trademark Rise?
No, they just
So
they just released it. They just released it. It's just like Facebook and Meta, right? Y'all know about Facebook changing their name to Meta, the company, not the actual Facebook, but they changed their name to Meta. They didn't own the words, right? Meta, some other company owned the words, and all they did was file a trademark for the logo. They didn't file it for nothing else. So that's what's happening in this case, except Pepsi didn't try to trademark Rise Brewing or Rise in general. I did a talk today. Y'all are going to probably see next week for my Trademark That Thursday's weekly free informational, where this is happening with Victoria's Secret, but Victoria's Secret actually filed a trademark. So you guys have to pay attention to these things because this could be you. This could be you on the news fighting this big giant and getting a judge to say, actually, no, this is reverse confusion in the market and you can't do this. Okay. So you want the judge to be on your side. But a lot of us, right, don't even know what to trademark. So let's talk about it. Now, I know that one gentleman, he has his business name trademark. Who here thinks that their business name is a very unique name? No one's going to have it in the market. Okay, so sophisticated, got you. Or explicit. Silhouette designs. Silhouette designs. You got me. You got me. Okay. You are sophisticated as well, I hope. All right. Anybody else? So who wants to put your business on the thing so we can break it down? Who wants to volunteer or should be? Okay, so yours is vision, right? So vision. Has vision, the word vision, ever been associated with counseling and therapy before? Do y'all know? Okay, who do you know does vision in therapy?
I'm not sure, but I mean,
you've seen it. You've seen it.
Mind, yes.
Okay, so in the market, for you to even do an assessment, all you have to do is ask yourself the question: has somebody associated this word with this action before? If not, then she actually has a very strong trademark, right? Because Apple exists in the English language, right? But it's for phones. that is actually a stronger trademark than anybody else's because no one's ever seen Apple for phones before, correct? So if vision's never been associated with therapy, if you look it up and you're like, there is no vision and therapy together. This is beautiful. That makes that same word stronger, right? So words in the English language be stronger, okay? Those are called marks that basically mean opposite of what they actually are in the English language. But what I like are fanciful marks, which are words that are made up, the Googles, the Kodaks, the Xerox of the world. Before Google existed, what did you tell people to do? Search the browser, look online. Now what do you tell them to do? Just what? All right. So y'all, if you're really trying to get a trademark, the goal for you is to actually come up with something that is made up that you are giving new meaning to. You made this word up. You came up with it in your sleep one night. Okay. That's how I came up with one of my business names and I love it. Right. But at the end of the day, that's what nobody has associated in the market. The reason why I'm mentioning that is because you have that potential right now. You're still early in your business, even if you don't have one, or if you have one, you are early enough in your business to revamp, rebrand before you go national. And if you think national, that's why this thing is important. So if you look up at the screen, what are the things that we can trademark? Tell me. Somebody read one out for me.
Logo.
Okay, anybody got a logo? You got a logo? Did you create the logo? You did? Awesome. You created your own logo? Okay, so somebody created your logo. We'll get there in a second. Anybody else got a logo for their business? All right, what about your business name? You already got your business name, so who's got a business name? Yeah? No? If you don't have a business, you probably been thinking about it. Motions. Do you guys have any signature things, poses that are yours? Y'all have any of that?
What's his name? Got a trademark from the Fresh Prince, the lean one.
Oh, you talking about Carlton?
Yes.
His thing? I mean, you don't know. Maybe Carlton's been doing something, or maybe he's going to see this live stream and be ready to do it. What about smells? Did y'all think about any signature smells for your business? No. Did y'all know that y'all could trademark smells? Did you know that Play-Doh has the scent of Play-Doh trademarked? It is called a smell mark and it's unique. It is the scent of cherry must mixed with some vanilla. So next time, smell your Play-Doh and see if you got that same smell every time. What about touch and feel? Y'all ever anything the way you touch something in your business, it feels really like unique only to you, nobody else? Any way you do your packaging? Think about this stuff because this is going to change the way you think about trademarks forever. What about the way your food tastes or whatever you have? You ever thought about that? They haven't done them yet, but you could be the first, right? They're called non-traditional trademarks for a reason. It is possible to have something so unique in taste that it is possible for it to be trademarked. It has not been done. It is very hard to push through. It doesn't mean it's impossible. Okay? Slogans. Y'all got catchphrases that y'all use? Okay, y'all been putting it on t-shirts, right? Y'all ever thought about what you should do with the t-shirts you've been putting them on? You've been probably thinking like, I should trademark that. You should trademark the slogan because I'm just here so I won't get fined by Marshawn Lynch is trademarked. He has it trademarked for shirts. So if you out here putting it on shirts, you violating trademark and he can come after you in a hot second. Okay, but the goal for you to do it is to get the trademark for the slogan and the copyright for the t-shirt design. That is the best way for you to protect your business. Okay. The last one is phrases. These are long phrases, short phrases. I have a trademark called the Law Sister Circle, a safe space for the minority female lawyer interested in law. That is the whole trademark, and it is a full-fledged trademark protected. So you can actually put out longer statements and prove to the USPTO because you guys know what you guys need. I know everyone says you need a website. You know what you need? A Facebook business page. That's it. That's free. When I started my law firm, that's all I have for my website is a Facebook business page. And the USPTO accepts Facebook business pages. If you sell any type of product, you can actually use something called Big Cartel or Square Up. Both of them allow you to sell product and be your payment processor, and they've been accepted. You want to know how I know Big Cartel is accepted? Because the guy that everyone loves, y'all remember Urkel from Family Matters, he put his cannabis brand clothing out, Purple Urkel, and he used for his trademark his proof that he had it in the market, a Big Cartel website that he created. Kid you not, it still says Big Cartel on it. That's how I knew it was a Big Cartel website. So if you've never heard of these websites, you've never used these websites before, these are free. So I don't want to hear from this point on that you can't start your business because you can't afford a website, because I'm telling you, it's free websites that you can create in the meantime, and that is all you need to be able to trademark your brand. You don't have to have a brand launch. You don't have to do no fancy stuff. For the first 2 years of my business, all I used was my Facebook business page, a tap.bio link, a payment processor, and a free Calendly booking link. That is how I made from $80 to five figures in about a year's time. Okay. You aren't able to make the excuse that no one is showing you this information, because now it is Googleable, it is searchable, and people are available. And even though there's only 1.8% of us in the field that are minority in the IP field, doesn't mean that you can't find them. If you are actively searching for ways to protect your business, you will actually be one step closer to having a strong business, a strong brand. And if you're like me, because I trademark that Thursdays, I've already had to send somebody a cease and desist letter, and they happen to be trademark lawyers like me. And I'm not going to yell their names out. All I'm going to tell you is that they apologize profusely and we move forward. But that's what happens when you are protecting the brand. And I created that last year, right? I put the branding behind it. I did the work in the background. So everything that you're putting out there, it's valuable. And if you start seeing it as valuable, you will actually be able to protect it and think of it as a business asset. Y'all heard of Nick Cannon, Wild and Out? Y'all heard how he lost it? Do y'all also know that he was working for a big company, Viacom? They're not going to let him own his show, but he lost it because he doesn't own it. Who owns the trademark? Viacom. The same with Issa. She doesn't own Insecure. HBO owns Insecure. You have to be able to be aware of what happens when you go national. Because if she had come up with Insecure and trademarked it before she went to HBO, maybe they wouldn't own it. Maybe she would have been able to get an even different deal. Or maybe she had it and she transferred it over, because that's possible. You can sell your trademark to somebody else. That is what people do. They're called trademark. I think they're like the squatters. Okay, so there's a domain squatter that buys up domains from people. But there are trademark squatters who will literally buy up trademarks so that other people will have to pay them for it later on. Okay, there's a guy who did it to the formerly Washington Redskins, now the Washington football team, and now he has all of the possible names that they could possibly come up with for their new team name. And he was like, I'm willing to sell it to them or talk to them, but I did it. Go ahead.
Somebody did me like that with my business name. With my silhouette designs unlimited.
Yep.
They stole my website.
Yes.
And now they try to sell it back to me for $5,000.
Yes, they will.
So I had to change my name.
Yep.
To Silhouette Designs ULTD.
Yep.
And brand it.
Yep.
To stop them from being able to.
And that is literally what happens, guys. There are people who trademark stuff before you. And then the important reasons that I want you guys to walk away with is you're going to go national one day. You're going to launch your business nationally. You're going to have people vying to be investors, and they're going to want an equity stake in your business. And if you don't own the IP rights, if you sell goods, you can't get them into the stores before Walmart asks you, well, what about the IP? Who owns this? Before you put it in my retail store and put us at risk. Because if you don't own it, if you don't own the rights to it, then they can own the rights to it, right? They have that option still. But if you go to them with a product that you own and you just want it listed as retail in the store, then you have more options for your business. So it allows you to have what I like to call bargaining chip in these negotiations. When you have a business, you want a bargaining chip, and that's what it gives you. It also can protect you from copycats, because just by filing a trademark, just by filing a copyright registration, you actually are entitled to more rights as a statutory right of law. Okay, you have copyright rights where you can at least get $150,000 in damages because you registered it and other people did not. That is something that is possible in the business. The other thing is you can get a licensing deal, right? You can actually license out use of your brand. Starbucks has all these licensed stores, right? And people can pay you for benefits. That's what McDonald's, they have a whole franchise built off of that. You're getting paid, the conglomerate is getting paid by the smaller pieces. So if people want to do what you do and do your business and take it to Texas, to Georgia, all over, that's something that you can consider once you have it. And the last part, a trademark do it right, because there are a lot of people who file for the trademark and forget there's a 5-year and a 10-year checkup. They will check on you, okay? And I'm telling you all this because I'm gonna prepare you for what lies ahead, okay? So we're gonna do this and this. So these are those steps that I talked about, okay? You need to secure your trademark. That's the first step. If you want it to last forever, because it can, then you need to secure your trademark. It can't last if you don't have it. The other thing is you have to put your brand out there like a CEO. Okay, if you're a CEO, you're thinking branding deals, you're thinking investment opportunities, you're thinking speaking gigs, you're thinking every single place where your name can be known, your presentation can be out there as many as possible. When Dear Future Lawyer came out, which was my first book that I ever wrote, I was doing speaking engagements out the wazoo. I mean, I got known for being the one who did Dear Future Lawyer, so much so that I went to a networking event and was like, your name is Neena Spear. And I was like, sure is. How do you? I follow you on Instagram. Again, I'm a very micro influencer on Instagram. I'm not super big on there, but that's important for you to know. Your brand can blow. It doesn't matter how many likes you get. It matters how many invoices get paid. Okay, so just remember, all the likes don't translate to invoices, and all the influencers online ain't making bank. Okay, some people don't know how to actually leverage their brand negotiation deal so they can get their maximum profit. The other one is filing that 5-year renewal registration. And I told you have to do it right after you get your trademark. And if you want to do it on your own, you need to file a 5-year renewal registration. It's called a Chapter 8 filing and a Chapter 8 and 10 filing in the 10-year registration. And then lastly, you need to solidify your brand. You have to think about this brand for 10 years. They will check up on you for 10 years, okay, and see if you're actually doing what you said you're going to do. Imagine how many things we started, right? We started it like a year ago and like it's dead in the water now. We don't do it anymore. If that's the type of way you're thinking about your business, please don't trademark it. I'm telling you that right now. I'm not trying to take money out of my pocket and I'm not trying to take money out of your pocket. But I also don't want you to be out here trademarking something you have no intention of putting the work into. Because a trademark is work. It is not something that you can do just because you want to have it. Because you have it and can't use it, it's like having an asset and don't know how to make it make money. Okay? Yes, ma'am.
So then how does that work if someone like does the research and tries to steal someone else's brand if they were never using it, but they chose to like trademark the phrase or the title or whatever?
Well, what happens is it gets diluted. So if people trademark, if they file and register it and they don't protect it, they don't get a lawyer to send cease and desist letters when people start copying it. If they're not monitoring it or having someone monitoring it diligently, you end up in situations where there's a lot of people being able to use it in the industry, and to a point where you can't protect it anymore. You're not entitled to the money. You're not entitled to any of the other businesses' profits, and they're able to capitalize off of your name in order for them to make business because you didn't protect it. And that's something it's hard to do on your own. And that's why a lot of people talk about having a team, a good team in business. Because business is teamwork. It's not you work, because if it's you work, then you're going to be tired for the rest of your life. Okay. I don't know about you, but I don't want to work for every day of my life. I want to be able to retire, spend time with my family if I have one day in the future. Okay. I don't know where my husband is. He's somewhere. Okay. But at the end of the day, if you decide that that's what you want, then you have to put the effort into your business to be able to pass it on to someone else and still make money from it. And you can't do that if you're not protecting your brand. Alexander Shannara, who know him? Please tell me. Y'all know him all the way up and down. He is around the whole southeast quadrant of the USA. He has everything protected. He is expanding his brand and his reach. Y'all know his name regardless. He is not the one handling everybody. He has a whole team of lawyers working for him now. So you can have a whole team of people working for your business. You don't have to be the one, sending out all the invoices, doing all that forever. You can move up in your own company. It's yours. So it's up to you whether or not you want to stay at the working everyday level or be able to pass it on and teach new people. The other part is there's a 10-year protection. When you get to that 10-year protection, you filed it. You will always need to protect your brand with cease and desist letters. You will always need to make sure that you follow Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, and even Twitter, infringements of your brand. You have to follow it closely. Everything is not pursuable, but things need to be, filed for infringement if it is infringing on your brand. And then lastly, a lawsuit. If you get to a point where someone is stealing your brand and they continue to steal it, you have to file lawsuits for this to protect your brand sometimes. It's not fun, it's not easy. But in order for you to actually have maximum protection for your brand, that's what you need. The other two things is, do you plan to take this name very long? Are you going to have this name forever? If you're not planning on having this name forever, if it's not that important to you, do not trademark it. The other part is, what areas do you think you should protect? Do you guys know that in my trademark applications, you only get like one application? You get one application, but many classes. And when I say many classes, is trademarks don't protect everything. Okay, you don't file a trademark and it just protects every single thing you could possibly do with it. It only protects the classes in which you tell the USPTO, which is the United States Patent and Trademark Office, that you are going to use in public. And every time you tell them that you're going to use a class, you have to have proof. So if I say I'm going to have a retail website, then I better have a website. If I say I'm going to have a t-shirt line, I better have a t-shirt with the t-shirt tag having my actual trademark. It ain't t-shirt here. Like if you put your t-shirt name, your slogan on top of your t-shirt like this, it's not protecting you. They're going to say it's ornamental, and more than likely you're going to get refused. Okay, it's all about the t-shirt tag and the small logos. That's how Nike, Polo, they got the little Polo man. That's why the shirt looks that way, because there's certain acceptable sources. You don't want it ornamental because anybody can create that. We can all create that shirt. There is a website that creates shirts for you that look just like that.
And you can find that term ornamental just a bit.
Yes, ornamental basically means that it is for show. It is actually not a signature of the market. Anybody can print or screen print this across a shirt. It doesn't actually identify the source of your good because it's not small enough, it's taking up too much space, and it's not actually allowing the good to stand for itself. So all somebody would have to do is put your name in big block lettering, and then all of a sudden people are doing the same thing. That is a terrible thing to defend against. And y'all know how many people make screen print shirts on they at their house with their screen printer? It's not easy to protect. When you are a source of goods, you're thinking shirt tags. You're thinking those detachable tags that you see at the store when you go to Macy's or Walmart, and you see those tags with the actual brand name and all. You see those ones that are paper clipped to the actual shirt that look nice. That's what you're thinking of when you think of a brand. So if you have shirts, if you have a line of merchandise, always print it on the tags of the shirt. That's what's going to allow have a lot more success for them. And if you don't have any tags in the shirt, you can go get some cardboard, print on the cardboard, and attach it with a plastic fixture. Okay, does that make sense? Did that confuse anybody? Did I lose anybody? All right, so let's get into this. Okay, so y'all not gonna like me, but I did it for you. Okay, I put the whole process up there from 1B. That means that your business doesn't exist yet. This is all a trademark attorney does for you. You don't have to do any of this. You know what you do? You fill out some intake forms and you good. All right, we do the rest of this, but this is the process that we go through for your trademark application. When you start your trademark, it gets filed. It takes them 6 months. I have to update that, but it takes them 6 months to. Okay, now it used to take them 3 months, and now it takes them 6 months to review your application. So that means as soon as you file it, we're playing a waiting game for 6 months. Okay, then they let you know whether or not it's going to move to the next level. If it's in purple, that's awesome. You want it to go through the purple. You don't want it to go to the yellow or the red. You want to stay in the purple. Okay, so if you see purple, that means you actually close to getting your brand registered. If you get to a yellow or red step, that means that is a obstacle and for you getting your trademark. And people don't think about that. And mostly people call me when they get that thing. You see the word that says office action at step number 4. Most people call me then when they get an office action that told them that they can't move any further until they respond to the trademark examiner. And then they call the trademark examiner, and y'all know what happens? They're like, oh, I can't give you any legal advice. You should contact a trademark attorney. I can only tell you what this means. I can't tell you what to do about it. All right. That's what happens. And a lot of people don't get this explanation because I've seen people, they've done LegalZoom, they've done some other Trademarkia, other places that file trademarks for you. But you know what they do? They take everything you wrote, they put a disclaimer at the website that says, this is on you if it's messed up. It's not on me. And everything you take, they copy and paste it. They never have a consultation with you. They never talk to you about what you're trying to protect. They never ask you where your business is trying to go. And so you get what you put in there. And if you didn't know what to write, then you put the wrong thing in there, and now you got the wrong thing trademarked. And that's how it goes. And if you end up with an obstacle because you did something wrong, they're gonna make you pay for it, because they're not gonna tell you they did something wrong. You put the wrong information in. Most of the times when you talk to a trademark attorney, most of them stay on with you for about 8 to 12 months. So whatever price or package you get from them, they actually are with you for 12 months. That means you got 12 months of legal consultation, conversations. My clients always call me, and it ain't about their trademark application. They just got a quick question. Okay, it's just a quick question. I had to limit it. Y'all get 6 now. I used to do unlimited. I moved it to 6 because it's not that many that you need. You just need to see where your application is going. And when they moved to 6 months updates, it was too many calls and phone calls and making you worry about nothing. So your trademark lawyer usually keeps you updated on your process, tells you where you are, tells you where you're close. And if you're my trademark client, you get cookies in the mail when you make certain things. You don't have to do nothing for these cookies. It's just something I wanted to do to make sure that you're happy and you feel like you're getting something out of this process. And it's just an all-star experience. Another attorney taught me about customer service, and I believe that customer service is vital in business. When you have good customer experiences, you come back. So hopefully that helps you see, part 1 and part 2, what you can get through. But when you get to that purple, right? You see how I got to 12B and there's 2 more steps? Nobody knows about those 2 more steps, right? They get their certificate and they don't do nothing else. And that's the part that we're here to talk about today. So let's talk about cost, okay? Because you guys probably haven't seen the cost of a trademark attorney. So they can range between $1,500 to $5,000 to even more, depending on the type of customer experience they provide. And they can also do things that you might see and you might not see. Some trademark attorneys, they include the filing fees. Some of them don't. Sometimes they include the extensive search. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes they include a legal memo to tell you what's going on in your trademark application, and sometimes they don't. Sometimes they correspond with you, and sometimes they charge you. Sometimes they correspond with the USPTO, and sometimes they don't. And they are usually always the attorney of record for about 8 to 12 months, but some people don't even do that, right? They be on there and they'll let you know what's going on, but they're going to take themselves off as soon as the application finishes. I don't, because I know it's a 10-year process for you down the road. And I know that you're going to need some help in the. So I just stay on. I'm not doing no work for you till you pay me. But at the same time, I stay on so I can at least monitor it for you, so you don't have to get those emails and be by yourself and trying to figure it out. What happens with LegalZoom? This is my top question every single time. This is what you get with LegalZoom. You get an application filing, you get a basic search. There is no legal consulting unless you pay a lawyer for a higher fee, because when I look at the hidden fees of LegalZoom, it is ridiculous. It actually amounts to most trademark lawyer fees, and you pay extra. On top of that, it's a fill in the blank application. You fill in the blank, they file the application. Whatever you filled in the blank, that's what they're going to file the application with. If you put the wrong thing in there, that's it. That's you. If you get rejected, you get in trouble with a big major company like Starbucks because you didn't know before you filed that was Starbucks' brand. That's on you. That's not on them. And now Starbucks is going to send you a cease and desist letter because you weren't aware. But you could have prevented that with a trademark search with an attorney, because we won't have this file before we actually tell you the risk involved. Because once it's filed, it's just like the Secretary of State website. It is public notification. The other thing I'm going to tell you that I don't have in this slide, but it's just a bonus tip. Once you file your application, you will get mail from WPS and other non-USPTO companies telling you to pay a certain amount. And they're like, you got to pay $1,400 for your trademark. That is a scam. They do that for everybody because your information is publicly listed. So keep that in mind when you are building your brand and you finally do file that trademark. Whatever you get sent to your house, if it ain't from me, if I'm your attorney, or from the USPTO, then it's not anything but a scam. That's not even a register you want to be on. Okay, so you do pay somebody, but you paying a scammer. All right, so I want y'all to look at the stages. Right, there's only 2 stages with me. I'll ask you, and I will tell you that you need an LLC and contracts because if you don't own your logo, whoever didn't get their logo created by them, that logo needs to be owned by you. And I create something called a copyright assignment template. Jasmine also does copyright assignment templates, but we provide that to you so that you can go have that conversation with your logo designer. And this is an assignment template that you can do for everything. Did y'all know that y'all photographers own the rights to y'all photos if you just paid them? Did y'all know that?
Say that one more time.
Did y'all know that a photographer owns the rights to your photos if y'all just paid them? If you don't have a contract with them that grants you the exclusive copyright rights to your photos, all those beautiful photos that you've been putting on your Instagram page, you know they can tell you at any time to take it down because you have a licensed use of the photo and they are actually the true owner, because the basic tenet of anything in IP is whoever creates it owns it. So if you didn't create it, you don't own it. Yes, ma'am. You have a question?
Oh no.
Okay, cool. The other part is the same thing applies to logos. Most of y'all, how many been on that Facebook and someone's like logo sale and y'all bought your logo? Anybody? Y'all fell for it? It's cool. I did. It's not a scam, but they ain't gonna try to give you no contract. They trying to get money fast. Okay, they're not thinking business. They're just thinking money. Logos cost about $250 to $300 from a real graphic designer, and they're usually telling you that because they give you the rights. Now, I have a website designer, and she does logo, and she does assign over the copyright rights to you after you get your logo. She just has that built into her contract, but everybody ain't like that. Okay, so remember, getting your logo or getting a video or getting anything created for you is always a risk. I always tell you to have a form. If you have an independent contractor form, to hire all of the people that you do business with, I can put a clause, and I do put a clause in everybody I hire that I own whatever you create. It don't matter what you created, it's mine. Okay? Anybody who works for me, they sign it. Anybody who I contract with, they sign it. And if they're not willing to sign it, then I'm not going to work with them because I want ownership of my stuff. So having ownership of something is more important before we start. And why? Because when you file your trademark application, you know what you told the USPTO? That you own it. And if you file a trademark for a logo that you don't own, you're going to get in trouble with your graphic designer, you get in trouble with the USPTO, and the blowback is not worth it. So you might as well make sure that you get them assignment. And this is all you have to do. If you didn't do it right, okay, you just text them nicely, because I don't do this for you. This is something you got to do, because if it come from a lawyer, they're going to be on the defensive. But you say, hey, would you mind signing a document that says that I own my logo? And if they say yes, then you be like, okay, Neena, I need to pay you for this template we was talking about in the thing. Once you send it to them, they'll either do one of two things. They'll just agree to sign it, you're good, or they won't agree to sign it. They'll have somebody look at it and they're like, oh, no, I'm sorry, I can't give you your logo. Why do I know that? It's because it's happened to me. Sometimes graphic designers actually use other people to design their work. And so they can't actually sign the rights over to you. So things like that happen all the time in business. The same with your photos. When you go talk to a photographer, I had a photographer who told me that to get the copyright rights to my photos that they would take for me for my book cover, that they were going to charge me $8,000. Okay, they have that right. I'm not paying that, but they have that right. And that's how much they can charge you to own and use your photos for when you blow up, when you make millions of dollars. You remember that photo, girl? I took it of you. And if you don't believe me, go ask Jay-Z, who is currently suing his past photographer because he is using those. Now, there is something called right to publicity. It does protect some people. It ain't necessarily going to be easy or a cheap battle to win. So it's just better to get it in writing, okay? And then stage 2, we start talking about copyrights. If you got merch, if you got books, if you got presentations like this one, all of those can be copyrighted. Most of the times, I copyright my presentations before I give them. So copyright, as soon as you file it, it starts. That's the protection starts at the registration or the filing, okay? The other part is trademarks, and the last part is retainers. If you've never had an attorney on retainer and you just heard that term, you know what that means? That means you got money in the reservoir. You know who also does that? This place right here. They got a retainer, so you can be a part of the Ivy Club experience. They have a way for you to put your money here, so you don't have to pull your card out every time you come. You just have money sitting here waiting for you when you get here. Okay? Retainers are very much like that. Nobody spends it. Nobody uses it. It just sits in an account. until you actually ask me for the services. But instead of having to exchange money every single time, it works out in the long run, right? When you keep a lawyer on retainer, which means you pay them about $2,000 to $3,000 per month, then that means that every time you call them up, your money is billed and you're good. You don't have to pay nothing additional. It's already billed. You already have that built into your business. So every time you need something, contract, a trademark, a copyright, a business form, you can just call them and they do it. And that's what having a retainer is like. It's called general counsel in lawyer speaks, which means that you basically call me for anything that you need in your business, which is a really good, awesome trait. And sometimes the general counsel fee covers the trademark, the copyright, and your business being formed and your documents, depending on what you get. All right. So, of course, as you guys get through this, I want y'all to click on y'all's presentation. If you have it on your phone, you can actually click if you're ready or you want to be ready for this. But that's really my presentation. I don't have much else to say from that. The workbook that you have in front of you, we'll talk about briefly, but now it's just ask me questions. Any questions. There are no dumb questions. There are no crazy questions. I want you to be inquisitive about trademarks, even if you don't know what they mean fully yet. And ask questions about your business if you're trying to launch, because we in a safe space. We're not stealing nobody ideas in this place, but you also can't trademark ideas. So make sure y'all write it down on a sheet of paper or something. Okay. So don't just tell your ideas. Make sure they're already written down or printed somewhere. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so question with my logo, I drew it
Mhm.
and sent it to a guy to kind of, put it in color and do all the other stuff. How does that work? Is it because I have proof that I drew it and sent it to him, or?
So you created it and he's basically animating it for you.
Yeah.
So technically that is a deviation of something you already created. So technically you own it, but you could also ask him just to sign it, but you don't necessarily have to. But you could ask him to sign it just to be the most protected, because you don't even want that confusion. Like, look, man, I created this, so it's still mine after you fix it. And that document does allow you to do that. What's up?
No. Okay. Saying about the t-shirt thing, my daughter, she's trying to do her own t-shirt business, so she does order her t-shirts wholesale from Gildan.
Okay.
She's doing the vinyl and inkjet. What you saying about the tag?
So there are places on your shirts where a logo or words are recognized. So this little tiny chest square, very tiny, like a polo size, so make it big, right here on either side of the chest, in the back of the shirt, on the sleeve, like Nike does their athletic gear sometimes, and then actually printed on the back where the tags are. So you can have your daughter sew in a tag. She can imprint a tag with a imprint press, or she can affix a tag, which are those tags that you see that are affixed by that plastic. Yes. So she needs to have some form of a tag and what it looks like. And if y'all want to talk about it or see it, definitely let's, pull out that shirt you get when you get home and look at the back and see who truly owns that thing. Because if you get Torrid, like me, I'm plus size, you get Torrid, they got their stuff stamped in the back and they got their tags embedded. And you can't just say Torrid, okay? You got to say Torrid Shirt Company, wash and wear. Like, you got to have like details in there instead of just putting like the actual name, because they're like, oh no, you just trying to game the system. But you got to make sure you have shirt tags. Other questions? East? No. Go ahead.
So when it comes to trademark, basically anything that you produce, you can trademark.
Anything that you produce in a fixed form, no ideas can be trademarked. However, if you have a business concept that you haven't yet created yet, there's something called a 1B application. And that 1B application allows for you to make sure that you're able to file and protect your trademark before it launches. So if you have like an idea that you're coming up with maybe in 3 months, right? I'm going to launch this big brand. You can trademark it before you launch. It's called a 1B application, but it doesn't mean that you have superior rights if somebody has already been using it and they file something called a 1A application, which means that the trademark is already in use. So that means that they became someone who's superior than you, but you filed it first. So keeping in mind, The best thing for your business and what you're going to create is a 1B, because you can at least find out if the words are protectable. And it allows you to check the words and the services to see if it sounds ornamental in nature. The next thing that you would have to provide to the USPTO, and they're not going to care about it for about 6 months, is proof that you're doing it, proof that you're using it. And as I told you, a Facebook business page, a shirt, if it's a good, it's an actual good. Like, you have to take pictures of the goods. And sometimes they do get rejected because sometimes the examiner thinks differently. You can go over their head and talk to the supervisor. That's something your attorney can do. Doesn't mean that it'll be successful, but it is possible to get around even office actions where the examiner seems to be a little out there. And like, I had a situation like, my client had the word "bay." Okay, that was the word that was common, and they were like, "Well, it's confusing with these other companies, but they have like maybe 200 plus bays registered on the USPTO with other things." So I was allowed to continue on because my client had a different first word than the other person. And that company was selling ice cream. My company was selling vegan food. Okay. So, like, there's a way to create a distinction in the market. So don't think because you have a common word in your industry that it has to completely alienate you from being able to protect. So, like, detox, that might not necessarily be the best, but you got detox by Just. Maybe there is no detox by Just out there right now. So if you have some other additional words, that does help you stand apart. But if you sell different products, that also helps. So if you are, trying to protect it for being a social media influencer online, and that's the only thing you really care about, you don't care about nothing else, you can do that. I protected a whole social media series, trademarked that Thursdays, with that same mindset. Did anybody look through the workbook while they were sitting here? Anybody have some questions? I put a little fun case study in the workbook for you about the Poke Girl. I didn't, mention her in my presentation because, as y'all probably know, she was also on OnlyFans, which is why Pokemon did not want their problem or their case associated with them. But Poke Girl was selling T-shirts, okay? And she was selling T-shirts with the actual Pokemon ball and one of the Pokemon monsters. I think it was Mew or Mewtwo. I can't remember who it was, but she had it on the front, and she was a Twitch and TikTok star, and that she had to give all the profits that she made from that shirt and change her name online for her to be able to continue on. She's like, "Well, I didn't try." It didn't matter because Pokemon is a protected brand and they market to children. And she happened to be an OnlyFans person as well. And they're like, "Nah, I'm sorry. That's going to dilute our brand. You're not going to associate this with Pokemon." So it's possible. On the back of your workbook, if you guys read through or looked through it, there are some things that will kind of give you price ranges of things that you can possibly do with your business to kind of let you know where we're at, why us, and then finally the different angles that you can work on. The beginner stage, that mobile. I'm just starting. I want to be a trendsetter. I want to be a VIP. All of those are different areas, but at the very back, there's a special deal that you can scan with your phone. It's a QR code, and it allows you to do a special group training with me. My price for my consultations are about $350, so it's discounted to like $297 for you to be able to do a special group training. It's only for 10 people. I'm not taking more because I'm really only talking to serious entrepreneurs and I want to help them grow their business. So I want to be able to allow you to learn what I do and a little bit about how to protect your business on the front end every time you come up with a new thing. So you be like, "Neena, I'm ready to trademark. I already checked it out. You told me to do the searches. I wanted you to do that final search, give me the extensive report, but I'm ready." So that you can make decisions informed. The reason why I started Trademark That Thursdays, which is also mentioned on the back. Trademark That Thursdays is special to me because I wanted people to be educated and come to me when they knew what they needed, instead of coming to me scared, coming to me afraid, coming to me because somebody told them they needed one and they have no idea what's going on. So if you want education on trademark issues, on trademark trends, on trademark news, that is a free platform on Instagram. Every Thursday, we put out information. You can go find it right now while we talking and look up all the free information that is out there about trademarks, because I want you to be educated when you come to me, not necessarily because you're not educated, but more educated on trademarks so that you feel empowered through this process. I don't want you to feel like this process is taking advantage of you. Any follow-up questions?
I say the Instagram.
It's Trademark That Thursdays. So just type it in. Instagram is just what it is. At the end of this presentation, we can definitely powwow, talk informally off of the live. But if there are no more questions, I'm gonna go ahead and end the. Oh, What?
Smells. So I'm sitting here thinking about candles and scents like Victoria's Secret,
Yeah.
Bath and Body Works, and how a lot of like some of my favorite like YouTubers are like making candles.
Mhm.
So with scents, since smells. Well, is smell the same as like scent?
Oh no, it's the same. It's a smell. It's a smell
So are
distinctive to
they
your
having
brand.
to trademark the individual ingredients that they combine to make that scent?
So what you're talking about is more like a patent. So you would patent what you created to make the scent. That's what you do. But a patent, and this is something I put in a presentation, it doesn't last forever like a trademark. It's 20 years. Okay. So patent reveals your whole formula, okay, online for everybody to see, and in 20 years it goes to market. So you got to make all your money in 20 years. And after that, that's it. Versus a trademark allows you to protect it for a lifetime after 10 years, and you don't have to go and renew or do anything else after that. Now, people can ask you to be canceled if for some reason you stop using it 30 years down the road, and they're like, man, they're not even using this trademark no more. I've been a petition for cancellation. That is something that a trademark attorney can do and has done to be able to continue that trademark process, because it's not fair, right? If you're not using the brand anymore, to keep other people from being able to use it. So keep that in mind. Any other questions? Anything y'all found in the workbook that was particularly helpful? Y'all have Paige to thank. You know, she sat over my shoulder. She's right here. She's a good friend of mine. But she sat over my shoulder for 4 hours probably until I got this right. Because I wanted to make sure that it was easy to understand, and not only easy to understand, but fun to read and engaging to look at instead of just a whole bunch of words. I wanted to make sense. So I spend a lot of time. 4 hours apparently is my magic number, because when I started Trademark That Thursdays, I sat with my mom for about 4 hours to make sure that the slides that we created for Instagram were actually easy to understand, and they broke things down. The last fun fact that I'm going to leave you with is that if you are trying to register your brand, you can right now do something very small to start letting people know that you're trying to file for trademarks, and that is to put a tiny TM next to your brand, your name, whatever you have in public. It's not saying that you are trademarked, it is just saying that you are in the process. It is to scare people off. It has no significance and no meaning to the USPTO examiner, but it does scare people away from using your brand and give them notice of what you're trying to do with your brand. I wouldn't do it until you actually get a trademark attorney on your team. But again, if you got one on your team and you're ready, cool. But if not, consider it. Yes. Questions? You have a question? Good. Awesome. Well, thank you guys, and of course, enjoy the food. I will finally eat now. But I just wanted to thank you guys for coming tonight, and feel free to ask me questions off the live if you want to. I will be here eating and enjoying.
Just a quick, we'll be doing it every other month. We'll be inviting her back. And I'll make sure I get your information. We also work with the Quantum Committee. We're going to do a night of cooperative economics with a panel discussion. Hopefully she'll be able to make it with other people. And that will be, I think, December the 28th. And so I'll be shooting the information out with other business presenters. We do it every year. Okay. So and she's committed to do 2 more, right?
Yes.
She's just committed to do 2 more.
So
we'll be having some other people coming on with her, but be on the lookout next month. And I'll make sure I get your business card, your contact information. We'll be forwarding it out, and we'll be doing things like that. And then for businesses, what I do, which I introduce, I do political consulting. So I work with people who run for office, whether it's state, county, or local. But we do crowdfunding for businesses if you work with our organization. So we got some folks business that we saved, and this is a small example of crowdsourcing, crowdfunding, because you came in here not to hear her, but to support the business. We appreciate you very much and appreciate you coming. Yes, sir.
Awesome. And just so y'all know that the world is a very small place, y'all, if you know me, y'all know I'm obsessed with Starbucks, so I'm there all the time. And I run into Clarence almost all the time when I go to Starbucks. And I promise you, I have a conversation with him. We watch some people play chess. I never in a million years thought that, like I was meeting somebody that everybody in Birmingham knew. But y'all, Clarence is very helpful, and the stuff that he's given me, just resource-wise, has been invaluable. So don't forsake opportunities. Don't not be a place or a member or come someplace often, because people, you never know where your underlying blessing is, where your opportunity is. I was at a networking event or social event similar to this at a bar, and I found one of my opportunities to teach financial to kids in schools. And it was just me telling somebody what I wanted to do with my business. So you are one person away, right, from doing the next thing you want in your business. And hopefully maybe one person away, i.e. myself, from talking about all the things that you want to with Trademark. And even if it's just a consultation, it's one thing that will allow you to be closer and connected. And if you're really ready, then there is a contact QR code on this plastic sheet, and it will let you put the intake in for our law firm information and an estimate of whatever services you think you need. And we'll break it down. We'll work together. It will be a team effort. I believe most of my clients will tell you that I make sure that you're informed throughout the process, and every question that you could possibly have, I try to answer, because I don't believe in you being uninformed or never hearing back from your lawyer or hearing back at the very end of the day or at the last second. I believe that you should hear back as many times as you want. Appointments, as long as it's in our six question limit, you should be able to have that conversation and email me and text and reach our office instead of, always scheduling an appointment. You should be able to email me and get answers. And I think that that's important for you. So thanks, guys. And thanks, my interweb people, of course. Thanks, Regina, for letting us know this is good information. Regina said, hey, Regina. Bye, guys.